There was a lot of discussion this past weekend about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, particularly in terms of its box office performance, or, as some might argue, the lack thereof. Now, the final tally came in. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, one of the biggest opening weekends in cinematic history, made $177 million opening weekend. That's great. However, as we talked about on this show, the opposite side of that coin, the other way of looking at it is that, hey, yeah, maybe 177 million is huge, but it's a significant drop-off, and it's the least amount of money that a Star Wars film has made in this new Star Wars era, in the new trilogy. Force Awakens made a lot more than that, and The Last Jedi made more than that, so this is the lowest opening weekend. So we had that debate about whether you should look at it, the $177 million opening weekend, positively, which I think you're nuts if you don't, but hey, whatever. Or if you think like Rob thinks, that no, you got to look at it kind of negatively because it was less than The Last Jedi. Well, something interesting has happened over the last couple of days. While Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker did open to less than Star Wars: The Last Jedi did, the tables have started to turn. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has exhibited really great legs outside of its opening weekend. And it has gone on to make big money both on Christmas and Boxing Day, second biggest Christmas Day box office in history, only behind The Phantom Menace. And now the analysts are saying, by the end of its opening 10 days, even though Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker started significantly behind The Last Jedi, they're saying by the end of its 10 days, it will be ahead of the 10-day mark of The Last Jedi. Even though it opened like 40 million plus behind The Last Jedi, I believe, in opening weekend, it's now going to pass it. It's had pretty good legs. I believe this speaks to the fact that even though I like The Last Jedi and I don't like The Rise of Skywalker, one of the things I acknowledged when I saw it was, you know what? I think that a lot of people are going to like The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't personally like it, and that's great. That's fine. But I think a lot of people will. Because even though I didn't like the film, there's a lot of good stuff in it. And I think for a lot of other people, the good stuff is going to outweigh the bad. And we see that reflected, of course, in the audience score. The audience score is over 80%. And I think that this now movement at the box office, showing that even though it started behind The Last Jedi, it's now poised to overtake The Last Jedi in just 10 days. I think, if nothing else, this speaks significantly to how much people are actually enjoying The Rise of Skywalker. Now, look, there are also a lot of people like me that didn't quite love The Rise of Skywalker, and that's cool. But I think for the most part, I think more people are enjoying The Rise of Skywalker than they did The Last Jedi. And I think this box office is kind of suggesting that. How big will The Rise of Skywalker end up being? Will it be a $1 billion film like I've always thought it would? I never thought it would get to $2 billion. But will it be the $1 billion film, the yet another $1 billion film for Disney this year? Yeah, I've always thought so, and I still think so. Will it overtake The Last Jedi? I don't know. Like, it's clearly going to pass The Last Jedi this weekend, but will it go on to overall end up with a bigger total than The Last Jedi? I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm still not sure about that, but I still do feel pretty good that it's going to cross the $1 billion mark. Anyway, guys, what do you think about that? Do you see there being any significance to that? Do you think it's actually really shocking, or are you not surprised at all? Let me know what you guys think. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.